Hi, I'm Ausama Idres. I was an extra partner with Oxfam in the OIYP program from 2007 till 2010, sorry, and then I became an M&M in 2010. I'm here in Australia right now, and I've got Geoff here with me. I'm going to ask him a few questions about the future of the OIYP program. And we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Ausama. My name's Geoff. I'm the current OIYP Program Coordinator, and I've been on the steering committee that's been leading this change process for the past 6 months, so it's really nice that Ausama's able to ask some questions and hopefully we can share the future plans.
So Geoff, can you tell me exactly, I'm very interested, I've been part of the OIYP for about 6 years, and I'm really interested in what's happening right now, what's going to happen next. But I've been reading about the OIYP change process, but I still need some explanation, more explanation. Can you tell me what's going to happen next?
Sure. I guess we've had an extensive change process that's been going on since around September last year, and that process was backed by 3 research papers that we conducted that were to inform the process. It also happened at a time when we were conducting an evaluation study of the impact of the past 12 years of the program, so that fed into what changes were happening. Then we ran a workshop. We brought about 7 action partners to Australia to sit down with us, look at that evidence, and then decide, well, what does the future of the OIYP program look like? From there, we came up with 3 or 4 broad ideas, I guess, around what could be an approach for Oxfam to support young people in the future. And then we could see that those ideas were the start of something really substantial and quite exciting, but they needed further work. So we did quite an intensive consultation process. We engaged we engaged the OIYP network, so we had over 100 action partners respond to an online survey. We ran focus groups in a number of countries. But I think the other area that we got feedback was also from Oxfam country staff and Oxfam staff as well. But the feedback that we got was, it was interesting. There was a couple of things that came through clearly. First was that the ideas that we were putting forward, people were interested in and thought were good ideas and thought were relevant to the experiences that they had. Secondly, we had a lot of feedback around people expressing the value of the OIYP network to them. We heard really clearly that people value national networks and they want them strengthened, so they want to have strong connections with other action partners in the country. We also heard that regionally and also globally. So people said that even though they might not have a lot of everyday connections with another action partner in another country, that connection is still valuable and important to keep and to foster. So there was really strong feedback that the network itself, irrespective of the future direction of Oxfam programming, needed to continue. So that process then led us to sitting down and saying, well, let's look at all this information, let's look at what it's telling us, and let's make some recommendations to Oxfam Australia's directors to say, well, where should Oxfam's programs and Oxfam's work with young people in the OIYP program, where should that go in the future? We came up with a number of recommendations. The first being that the existing OIYP program is not the best way for Oxfam Australia to continue to work with young people. Oxfam Australia was very conscious that working with young people in the future is really important, but the existing OIYP program of running a kaleidoscope and a 3-year program, there's ways to improve that. So the recommendation there was to discontinue that approach and that model, but it was very consciously saying, well, we've actually created something here as well, and acknowledging that and the importance of that. So there were some elements to that recommendation. One was that it's really important that Oxfam concludes its current commitments to action partners in the OIYP network. And there's a couple of elements to that. First of all, the importance of acknowledging and celebrating what the program's achieved over 12 or 13 years. Second of all, we heard through the feedback that action partners valued the networks, and so in that concluding the obligations, there was really importance highlighted on strengthening those networks, especially at the national level, but also at the global level as well, and really transitioning to a network that's actually led by action partners and not led by Oxfam.
So, like, what I understand that Oxfam wanted to change process based on all the research that have been done and all the recommendations is going to like end, let's say, in June 2013, but the OIYP and Oxfam itself doesn't really want to end the program so abruptly, because they believe that action partners are very valuable, and they would still want to support them in a different way over a period of is it going to happen over a period of time, or is it going?
I think the language of saying ending the OIYP program in June 2013 can sound quite alarming.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably good to say, well, what does that mean? And so when we say end the program in June 2013, first of all, the 2010-2013 cycle was scheduled to end in June 2013 anyway. So that ending of the program will mean that we won't run more face-to-face workshops. We won't run another grants program. We won't start planning for the next kaleidoscope. So it means that we'll stop running the normal everyday components of the OIYP program, and there'll also be some changes in names of teams and names of staff roles. But what it doesn't mean is that Oxfam will then at that point in time walk away from the OIYP network and the action partners. What we're committing to doing is to work to support the network in that transition period, and that transition period will start effectively from July 1st, 2013, and we've made a commitment to see that through for the next at least 6 to 9 months.